Breakfast, written by Ruskin Bond. There is something to be said for breakfast. If you take an early morning walk down Landor Bazaar, you might be fortunate enough to see a very large cow standing in the foyer of a hotel munching on a succulent cabbage or cauliflower. The owner of the hotel has a soft spot for this particular cow and invites it in for breakfast every morning. Having had its fill, the cow, very well behaved, backs out of the shop and makes way for paying customers. I am not one of them. I prefer to have my breakfast at home, a fried egg, 2 or 3 buttered toasts, a bit of bacon if I am lucky, otherwise, some pickles from the south, followed by a cup of strong coffee, and I am a happy man and can take the rest of the day in my stride. Charles Dickens was good at describing breakfasts and dinners, especially Christmas repasts, and many of his most rounded characters were good natured people who were fond of their food and drink. Mr. Pickwick, the Cheeryble brothers, Mr. Weller Sr., Captain Cuttle, as opposed to the half starved characters in the works of some other Victorian writers. And remember, Dickens had an impoverished childhood. So, I took it as a compliment when a little girl came up to me the other day and said, "Sir, you are Mr. Pickwick?" As a young man, I had a lean and hungry look. After all, I was often hungry. Now, if I look like Pickwick, I take it as an achievement. And all those breakfasts had something to do with it. It is not only cows and early to rise writers who enjoy a good breakfast. Last summer, Colonel Solomon was out taking his pet Labrador for an early morning walk near Lal Tibba when a leopard sprang out of a thicket, seized the dog, and made off with it down the hillside. The dog did not even have time to yelp, nor did the colonel. Suffering from shock, he left Landor the next day and has yet to return. Another leopard, this time at the other end of Missouri, entered the Savoy Hotel at dawn and finding nothing in the kitchen except chicken's feathers, moved on to the billiard room and there vented its frustration on the cloth of the billiard table, clawing it to shreds. The leopard was seen in various parts of the hotel before it made off in the direction of the ladies' block. Just a hungry leopard in search of a meal. But 3 days later, Nandu Jauhar, The owner of the Savoy Hotel found himself short of a lady housekeeper. Has she become a good breakfast for the leopard? We do not know till this day. English breakfasts, unlike continental breakfasts, are best enjoyed in India, where you don't have to rush off to catch a bus or a train or get to your office in time. You can linger over your scrambled egg and marmalade on toast. What would breakfast be without some honey or marmalade? You can have an excellent English breakfast at the India International Centre, where I have spent many pleasant reflective mornings, and a super breakfast at the Raj Mahal Hotel in Jaipur. But some hotels give very inferior breakfasts, and I am afraid that certain Mussoorie establishments are great offenders, specializing in singed omelets and burnt toasts. Many people are under the erroneous impression that the days of the British Raj were synonymous with huge meals and unlimited food and drink. This may have been the case in the days of the East India Company, but was far from being so during the last decade of British rule. Those final years coincided with World War II, when food rationing was in force. At my boarding school in Shimla, omelets were made from powdered eggs, and the contents of the occasional sausage were very mysterious, so much so that we called our sausages sweet mysteries of life. Things were not much better at home. Just porridge, no eggs, bread and jam, no butter, and tea with good instead of refined sugar. The good was, of course, much healthier than sugar. Breakfasts are better now, at least for those who can afford them. The jam is better than that it used to be. So is the bread. But good omelets are still hard to come by. They shouldn't be made in a hurried or slapdash manner. Some thought has to go into an omelette, and a little love too. Thank you very much. Now, some of the words used in the above passage and their meanings. If you take an early morning walk down Landor Bazaar, you might be fortunate enough to see a very large cow standing in the foyer of a hotel munching on a succulent cabbage or cauliflower. Succulent, Succulent. Succulent means containing a lot of juice and tasting very good. And remember, Charles Dickens had an impoverished childhood. Impoverished means very poor. What would breakfast be without some honey or marmalade? Marmalade means a type of jam that is made from oranges or lemons. But good omelets are still hard to come by. They shouldn't be made in a hurried or slapdash manner. Slapdash, Slapdash. Slapdash means done quickly and carelessly. Thank you very much.